had a talk with YB Zairil K. Johari last week, and he said to us that Najib's approval rating is 27%, which is the lowest ever for Malaysian Prime Minister, and even lower than George Bush in the aftermath of the Iraq War.
I think it all boils down to one issue: economy. How the authority of the Prime Minister, whether his popularity rating, approval rating increases or not, depends on his management of the economy. And for him, one LDB scandal could not have come at the worst time. Why? Because the people of Malaysia are suffering. If you go back home, businesses are closing down. I'm not joking. Businesses are closing down. Many of the stores lettered out in the supermarkets. If you look at some cities, you're not looking at one or two, you're looking at tens and tens of stores being closed down over the last 3 months. Even in Penang, you have 1 or 2 stores closing down, but we have been told that Penang is the best in Malaysia. There are other cities where you have tens and tens of stores closing down. I don't want to mention which towns and which cities in Malaysia. Not only that, people find it hard to make ends meet. And that is the reason why, despite the breakup in Pakatan Rakyat, UMNO has not benefited. Barisan Nasional has not benefited. Their popularity or their support continues to erode, principally because of the management of the economy. The drop in the ringgit, the value of ringgit doesn't help. And when people are angry and when they are suffering economically, they always want to find a reason. They have to find someone to blame. That's part of human nature. And they see one MDB happening. 42 billion ringgit scandal. They see Wall Street Journal making allegations of a stupendous amount, humongous amount deposited in Prime Minister's accounts. And allegedly also a smaller amount in his wife's account. So don't you think that people are angry?
People may be angry, but I don't see them on the streets.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you agree with direct action for street protests?
I think there should be a time. It should be a timely action. We are not in a business of trying to get people on the streets unless they feel that this is the only alternative. Sometimes you've got to get the right moment to do so. And as I said earlier, we believe that by continuing to pursue this through constitutional means, and of course, if necessary, to allow the voice of people to be expressed, we must continue to try to do that to get the message across. Let me finish first about the economy. Because I think that is critical. There was a survey done before the 1NDB scandal erupted, and that was done by UiTM Malacca, where they did a survey with a sample of about 500 people I think basically young people in Malacca. 88% of the respondents were Malays, and it was all about just one issue: GST, the impact of GST. Finally, they asked one question: how would you vote in the next general elections? 66% said that they would vote for the opposition regardless of who they are, just to punish Barisan Nasional for implementing the GST. And mind you, that is Malacca, Barisan Nasional stronghold. Just one issue before one MDB erupted. So I would say that it all relates back finally to the economy. And the economy is actually hurting for the ordinary people.
The question is this message being communicated effectively on the ground? I mean, in rural areas. I mean, I can understand about city, but I'm very sure you have realized from the last GE13 that the message must be on towards the rural areas where majority of the marginal seats are now. So, I mean, yeah. So how is it being communicated effectively? And if not, what do you think should be done?
Well, we have, of course, try to get the message across. But at the end of the day, it's always the verdict, the post verdict that would matter. I would say that when people are hurting, they are more willing to listen. Finally, at the end of the day, nothing matters as much as the economy.
Oh, I mean, haven't we been hurting for a long, long time? Is it because the
Not enough lah.
until we are starving and homeless?
We are not starving yet in Malaysia. No, you are not homeless yet in Malaysia.
So we have to wait for that time?
No,
Or
not
could
that,
it be,
not that,
Could
not
it be that the opposition is disunited and ineffective, or the mainstream media is under the control of the government? So which is it?
No, I think there's a congruence of these factors. The media is controlled by the government. Perhaps the economy is still not as bad as hoped for or required of the rural folks to decide that they need to make a change. That's a yearning of change. There's yearning for change amongst the youth, but not so much for the rural folks.
True, but then every time, this is what I am told, yeah, every time there is an election, okay, right now the sentiments may be, yes, we're going to work for the opposition, no problem, UMNO Baru has upset us, blah, blah, blah. Then somebody comes along and says to the Malay, you vote DAP, your rights will be taken away from you, you'll be turned into a Chinese dominated, Singapore dominated, Christian state, and then the Melayu will pangkah UMNO bien.
That may be true when the economy is still doing well.
But we don't want to become another Egypt or Tunisia or whatever.
I don't think we are that bad yet.
But do we have to get to that stage?
I don't think so.
So can the opposition not sort of agree a bit more?
Either you stand on principle or you don't stand at all.
Okay.
I think that's something that we have to make very clear here. We stand on the basis of the platform of a common manifesto, has the common policy framework and the joint election manifesto has stated by Kota Melaka. Ours is always a better life for the people, to ensure that the fruits of our economic labours are distributed as equitably as possible. Of course, whether you can translate that when the economy is doing well, it's so difficult. I just want to give another example. Felda. Felda, when it was listed, what was the price of Felda shares? Now, how much is Felda shares? You're looking at less than $2. Before that, it was what, 450?
Something like that.
Now it's what, 180? Maybe to share experts here can help me out here. 181, thank you very much. So 181. Now imagine the Felda settlers, they are paying 100 ringgit every month for their shares. How would they feel? They are looking at even the hardcore of UMNO voters rebelling.